Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it is Thursday, the 15th of December, and it's time for another Leeds United transfer update. We have three players, yes, three players we're going to be discussing today with some credible sources, some credible links to all three. But without further ado, before we get into it, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. We set the target of 20k before the end of the year. It's highly unlikely we're going to do it, but let's at least get to 17k. So if you're new here, please do subscribe and watch your ears, and let's get into it.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any love, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. So as you know, folks, Leeds United are well on the hunt for a new striker. We know Patrick Bamford has his issues, as is always the case. Can we rely on Rodrigo to get us through 38 games, and then underneath that you just have a bunch of kids? So Leeds United have been linked to Senegal forward Boulaye Dia. This is according to Italian outlet Tutto. He's currently plying his trade at Salernitana, the club that, remember, Andrea Radrizzani almost bought, so has relations there. He's currently on loan at that football club from Villarreal, but is reportedly available for a fee in the region of £12 million. Now, he has registered 6 goals and 2 assists in 14 games this season for the Italian top flight side, and also scored in the World Cup against Qatar in that opening game for them. And of course, was a member of that famous squad that lifted the AFCON trophy earlier this year. So Boulaye Dia is a striker Leeds United have been linked to. And would I be on board with this signing? Listen, at this point, I'd be on board with any striker signing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. At £12 million, is that just a snip for Boulaye Dia? Now, another striker Leeds United have obviously been chasing is Matheus Cunha. I'm sorry to have to put this on your screen and basically go and wash your eyes out with bleach. No doubt. We don't get on with Chelsea. It's a known fact. But yes, Chelsea have been offered the chance to sign both Joao Felix and Matheus Cunha from Atletico Madrid. The thing is now with Matheus Cunha, the fact that he's been linked to Arsenal, he's been linked to Chelsea, you can be certain that he is going to go to a bigger club than Leeds United, currently in their trajectory in the Premier League even. I think he wants to test himself in the Premier League. I fancy him to make that move. Obviously, it hasn't worked out at Atleti. He was originally linked to Wolves, that Lopetegui link, etc., then Leeds and Everton. But it seems now bigger fishes are coming into that pond when they know that he's available, because at just 22, 23, he's gone to Atleti. Yeah, it hasn't worked out, but for clubs like Chelsea and Arsenal, it's a no-brainer because they can deal with the financial upheaval if indeed it did go wrong, whereas Leeds United would have to go big on a Matheus Cunha deal in terms of transfer fee and of course of wages, and if it doesn't work out, then you're up shit creek. We've been like that with the likes of Firpo, and you could argue Rodrigo prior to this season. So Leeds won't want to be burnt again, and I just feel now that Matheus Cunha is well and truly in the rear view of any lower Premier League side. I don't think Wolves get that deal done now. For me, it's been broke that from very reputable sources that Chelsea are looking at. I mean, we know Arsenal might even dip in the water as well, with Jesus being out for around about 3 months. George Hall is another player that's continuously linked to Leeds United. He plays at centre midfield and can either play off the right or off the left, and he is only 18-year-old, and this is one for me that's been going on, it seems, forever. Back when we were linked to the young striker from Stoke, etc., Leeds have continuously flirted with the idea of signing George Hall, and it looks to me like it might be a bit of a foregone conclusion that he does end up at Leeds United. But listen, Birmingham City manager John Eustace has come out and says, look, we do not want George Hall going anywhere. We want him to stay at this football club. So one to watch. As does happen quite a lot with Leeds United, you would expect George Hall will go straight into the under-21 setup. And I know that can be frustrating for a lot of fans that we continue to buy young players and we need immediate success. And I guess that's the world in which we live in, even just looking at it from a bigger scale, consumerism, wanting everything now. But look, I do believe with a lot of these signings, the future is very, very bright for Leeds United. But we do need to think about the here and now and improving our current squad. You know, We know that we're going to lose Mateus Click. We know that Forshaw, Greenwood, are they adequate replacements for Tyler Adams? They're not. If you then bring in a George Hall and don't bring in any other centre midfielder, fans rightly will be frustrated at that. And I'm one of them as well. I still think the fact that Unahi and, you know, players like Musa are available. Okay, Unahi may look for bigger and better things, but Musa could be one Leeds United go after. And I think we should be definitely trying at least to convince these players to come to Leeds United, which moves us on nicely to a first-team acquisition, but is of younger age. So it may be a little bit sceptical about it. But we are going to talk about one of the prime positions that needs addressing for Leeds United. It is, of course, left back. And the left back we're going to be speaking about is 18-year-old hot prospect Ivan Fresneda. Leeds United are one of many sides interested in taking the Real Valladolid youngster, not least Wolverhampton Wanderers. I feel that that's going to be something that's going to rumble on with Leeds and Wolves this January window, just because we know Victor is big on the Spanish market. Lopetegui, big on the Spanish market, obviously well thought of, previous Spanish manager. He's going to have a lot to say with Spanish players making that move to the Premier League. So you might find that that sort of to and fro between these two football clubs will rumble on throughout this window. Now, as I said right at the start, Fresneda is just 18-year-old and does play for the Spanish under-19 side and is considered one of the most promising young talents in European football. And in recent weeks, there's been a frantic chase for his signature. Now, this isn't the first time that football clubs have been interested in Fresneda, because Atletico Madrid tried to sign him in the summer. However, they managed to get him onto a new deal, which included a €10 million release clause. That figure has now risen to 30 million because he played 6 games for the first team. And if he reaches 22 games, that release figure will then raise to 45 million euros. I really think that's smart business by Real Valladolid, ensuring that the more games he plays, the higher his transfer fee goes. Maybe something our football club could look at in the future, especially with the likes of Jack Harrison that have suitors. You know, you'd imagine Tyler Adams and Liam Mellier in the future will have suitors. So that's what's made basically a lot of interested parties want to move quick, because they know the more games he plays, he's closer to triggering that clause, which means he'll rise up to 45 million euros. Now, it's claimed that Leeds United are already in talks with Fresneda himself ahead of a January move. We know that we're after a left back. We heard from Graham Smith that Leeds United are looking at a left back. They want Struijk in his preferred position. They realise that our defensive line hasn't been up to scratch and it does need improving. And therefore, if you bring in a young player that can challenge, obviously Struijk and Firpo, less said about Firpo the better, then he has a chance to grow. And of course, we know Leeds United like to bring in players at a decent price and then can look to move them on for a bigger chunk of money in the future. Now, it is being reported that a deal could be done for around about 25 million, which seems an awful lot of money. But for a player that's attracting a lot of interest, would I love Leeds United to go out and spend 25 million on a left back that's well thought of in the game? Yes, 100%. I'd love Leeds United to be throwing these figures about. I'm yet to believe or yet to see it in January, especially whether or not we'll do it. But one thing's for sure, we can't go the rest of the season without a left back. Like you could argue with striker, I'd be fuming, but the club can say, well, we do have Perkins, we do have Joseph, we do have Joffrey. At left back, there are no excuses whatsoever because Firpo's continuously broken. Firpo's not up to Premier League standard or up to Championship standard from what I've seen. So you can't rely on Struijk because guess what? If Struijk got injured, you'd be knackered. Much like the centre midfield position as well. You're just banking on these players staying fit. But centre midfield for me is slightly behind, you know, left back and striker. We need to get it. And listen, if Buladier's the man, if Fresneda's the man, I'd be happy with both signatures. I'm not too sure on the Buladier just because of where it's been reported. It seems that Italy continuously like to link Leeds United to players. But the Fresneda one does really, really excite me and interest me. And a lot of sources are actually credible that are saying this. So it's one to keep your eyes on. Look, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments if you did. Please smash a like, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in. And of course, hit that notification bell and I'll see you on the other side. Peace out, Leeds.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt.